As independent artists, you should always be thinking about ownership. And I know a lot of artists, when they think about ownership, they're thinking about owning the masters to their music. And obviously, that's very important. But what I'm talking about is owning your fan relationships, but also owning your own space on the internet, usually in the form of a website. As great as social media is and as important as it is for your business and being able to grow a fan base and get your music out and promote it, what a lot of artists might not realize is that social media is rented land, meaning that you actually don't own the relationships that you have with your fans and your followers on social media. So all of those social media followers and YouTube subscribers, those don't actually belong to you. You're not entitled to that information and that connection. So if something were to happen to your account, whether it gets hacked or you violate some kind of policy that they have and your account gets wiped, or let's say if a platform just becomes less popular or they disappear, they get banned, you actually no longer can access those fans and followers because you don't own it. And so that's why it's very important that you take the step to own these relationships by collecting either an email address or a phone number. Now, setting up an email sign up isn't too difficult, and there are services out there that offer free plans that allow you to have a certain amount of subscribers before you have to pay. So that's a great way to get started. Now, on the other side of that, you want to make sure that you have your own personal space on the internet that is under your full control, right? And that's usually in the form of a website. Now, for newer artists out there, it might not make sense to spend money for a website right away, but at the very least, you want to secure your domain name that is associated with your artist name. Securing a domain name costs $30 to $40 a year, and that's including domain privacy so that people don't see your private information. But it's relatively inexpensive to secure a domain name so that you can just have that on lock and ready to go when you are ready to launch a website. So in a situation where if you lose all of your followers or your subscribers for whatever reason, people can at least find you on the internet. You have an address, you have a domain name that's associated with your artist name that people can Google and potentially find you that way in case something were to happen with your social media followings. So when you're thinking about ownership as an independent artist, you're not only thinking about your music, but you're also thinking about the very fundamental things you need for your business, which is going to be owning your fan relationships. So you want to make sure that you're collecting email addresses, but also having your own space, your own website, and a domain name that is connected to your artist name. These are all fundamental things that you need to run your music business and to be successful online.